It is now time to descend into the depths of the Inferno, for the long-awaited arrival of Diablo 4 is imminent, marking a triumphant return to the mainline series after over a decade since its last installment. This momentous announcement was first made back in 2019, and Blizzard's venture back into the captivating realm of Sanctuary is poised to deliver a game that is even darker and more gritty than its predecessor. Since its initial reveal, the company has divulged a plethora of details about Diablo 4. They have shed light on the game's intricate narrative, showcased its diverse classes and locations, conducted multiple beta tests, and even partnered with KFC in an unconventional collaboration to generate buzz for its impending release, resulting in some peculiar menu choices. At the core of Diablo 4 lies a profoundly somber story, surpassing the tragic tales witnessed in Diablo 3. Blizzard has painted a grim and melancholic picture, presenting the game's storyline as the most sorrowful chronicle yet. As with the previous games, this new installment is set in Sanctuary, a world born from the disillusionment of the angel Inarius and the demon Lilith. Both entities grew weary of the eternal war waged between the high heavens and the burning hells, and they yearned to fashion a haven where angels and demons could escape the ceaseless conflict. To bring their vision to fruition, Inarius and Lilith absconded with a potent artifact called the World Stone, utilizing its power to conceal their refuge from the prying eyes of both heaven and hell. Soon thereafter, the interactions between the angels and demons dwelling in Sanctuary gave rise to a remarkable progeny, the Nephilim. Endowed with abilities inherited from both factions, the Nephilim possessed extraordinary might, instilling fear in both angels and demons, who were apprehensive that these beings could ultimately surpass them in power. Consequently, many among the angelic and demonic ranks harbored a desire to eradicate the Nephilim. But Inarius stayed their hand, preserving the Nephilim's existence for reasons yet unknown. However, Lilith, deeply concerned for the Nephilim whom she regarded as her own children, succumbed to a murderous rampage, eliminating those in Sanctuary who harbored ill intentions towards the Nephilim. This prompted Inarius to exile Lilith from Sanctuary and commence tampering with the World Stone, intending to weaken the Nephilim's power. Over the passing centuries and millennia, the debilitated Nephilim gradually transformed into the mortal race of humanity. Inarius's manipulation of the World Stone also lifted the veil that had concealed Sanctuary, exposing it to the prying eyes of both the high heavens and the burning hells. Needless to say, since its inception, Sanctuary has veered far off its intended course. The planet has been plagued by unrelenting chaos, perpetually torn apart by warfare and bloodshed. Diablo 4 takes place several decades after the events of Diablo 3's Reaper of Souls expansion, during which humanity was nearly eradicated by the Archangel Malthael. In the ensuing power vacuum, a cult devoted to Lilith manages to unleash the banished demon, allowing her to return to Sanctuary with a fervent desire to reshape it in her own image. Naturally, Inarius and his Church of Light will vehemently oppose such a transformation, setting the stage for a conflict in which the player character assumes a pivotal role. In Diablo 4, the player embodies a wanderer, driven by the instinct to survive in the now harsh and unforgiving world of Sanctuary. At the outset of the game, the player can choose from one of 5 classes, each dictating the character's abilities and gameplay style. Unlike previous iterations of Diablo, the classes in Diablo 4 offer a significantly heightened level of customization, enabling players to delve deeper into the management of their character's build and aesthetic design, thus fostering a greater sense of personalization. Embarking on their treacherous journey, the Barbarian class in Diablo 4 embodies the quintessential heavy melee archetype. With their mastery of two-handed weapons, they unleash devastating blows, while dual-wielding grants them agility for rapid strikes. A unique feature of this class is the arsenal system, allowing for swift weapon switching on the fly, with up to 4 weapons at their disposal. Techniques like dash strikes and war cries empower the barbarians to control clusters of enemies and safeguard their allies. The Druid class, a wielder of nature's might, showcases remarkable shape-shifting abilities, adapting to various forms depending on the situation. Whether transforming into a mighty bear or a swift wolf, the Druid can even transition between forms in the midst of an attack. enabling intricate and strategic maneuvers. Their dominion over the forces of earth, wind, and storm bestows upon them a diverse range of abilities, resulting in an eclectic mix of powers. This class draws inspiration from the Diablo 3 DLC, encompassing the essence of summoning an undead army. With their necromantic prowess, necromancers command 3 different death-focused disciplines: bone, blood, and shadow. Accompanied by a legion of skeletons, they wield the iconic scythe, symbolizing the embodiment of a grim reaper. The sorcerer, a revered mage-like class, harnesses the elemental forces of ice, lightning, and fire to unleash devastating damage upon Sanctuary's diverse array of adversaries. Their repertoire of abilities provides ample options for obliterating enemies. Additionally, they possess the extraordinary ability to transform into a ball of lightning, allowing them to traverse the battlefield swiftly and strike distant foes. For fans disappointed by the absence of the Demon Hunter in Diablo 4, the return of the Diablo 1 Rogue class will surely delight. Armed with short swords and bows, rogues excel in both close quarters and long-range combat. Their swift and stealthy moves make them formidable adversaries, and they can even apply shadow and poison effects to inflict additional damage during their fast-paced and flashy combos. Diablo 4 remains faithful to its roots as an isometric, dungeon-crawling action RPG. At the heart of the Diablo series lies the addictive pursuit of loot and the grind for better gear. As players progress and level up through relentless battles against hordes of enemies and formidable bosses, they are rewarded with an array of options to acquire even more valuable loot, fueling their descent into power and granting them an edge in the perilous journey that lies ahead. As mentioned earlier, Diablo 4 has embraced the open-world format, transforming into an action RPG that grants players greater freedom to explore and engage in a plethora of activities. In addition to the main quests, the game introduces dynamic events scattered throughout the world, enabling players to team up with others and tackle formidable foes or raid perilous dungeons. Unlike the linear structure of Diablo 3, Diablo 4 encompasses 5 distinct regions within Sanctuary: the snowy and fractured peaks, the arid and expansive dry steppes, the eerie and treacherous Howl's-Wept swamps, the coastal forests of Skosklan, and the haunting ruins of Kyrgyzstan. The overall scale of the world in Diablo 4 surpasses that of all previous Diablo maps combined. Some noteworthy features announced for Diablo 4 include intense player-versus-player battles, the introduction of mounts for swifter traversal, and the highly anticipated return of rune words. The latter, scheduled for inclusion in a post-launch update, originated from Diablo 2 and allows players to fine-tune their characters and modify their abilities by attaching powerful runes that bestow various effects and stat buffs. Each class also boasts skill ranks and challenge trees, which progress alongside the player's level. The skill and talent trees are expansive, offering abundant options for character customization. Blizzard has stated that players will have only unlocked approximately 40% of the available skills by the time they reach the endgame. Diablo 4 is designed as an always-online game, existing within a persistent world shared by other players. Even for those who prefer a solitary experience, multiplayer is an integral component of the Diablo franchise. Enemy difficulty scales to match the levels of the player's party, and dungeons are separate instances with different difficulty settings. This extends to the new PvP gameplay feature known as the Fields of Hatred, where players engage in combat against challenging monsters to compete for coveted loot. Paragon points, earned through gameplay, unlock tiles on the Paragon board, providing bonuses and enhancing character progression. Diablo 4 also introduces Nightmare Dungeons, which are deadlier versions of standard dungeons, offering modified objectives, tougher adversaries, and various mutators to enhance the challenge. To acquire the most powerful gear and optimize their characters, players will engage in farming activities. Diablo 4's endgame content, known as Hell Tides, allows targeted farming of specific item slots. Within these areas, players can seek out loot caches, slay monsters, and earn cinders, which can be utilized to unlock the caches. The game features different world tier difficulties, with the best rewards awaiting those who conquer the highest tiers. These difficulties become accessible once the campaign is completed and capstone dungeons are conquered. Diablo 4 is slated for release on June 6, 2023, with pre-order options offering exclusive cosmetics for other Blizzard games, such as wings for Inarius and a Murloc pet for Diablo 3, and cosmetics from World of Warcraft and Diablo Immortal. The digital-only Deluxe Edition includes bonus items like the Temptation Mount and Hellborn Carapace Mount armor, as well as the Season 1 Battle Pass. The Ultimate Edition, available only digitally, provides additional perks like 20-level skips on the Season 1 Battle Pass and an in-game Wings of the Creator emote. Stay tuned to Gamer's Den for comprehensive coverage of Diablo 4, whether you are a seasoned veteran returning to Sanctuary or a newcomer venturing into the infernal realms for the first time.